Good morning. It is a brisk 31-degree day out here. We're going to do some maintenance on the 2013 Ford F-350. We're going to start easy with an oil change. And I figured I'd document it and hopefully help somebody out. So you'll see in this video a lot of other stuff that's going on too, because we're doing everything. This truck takes 13 quarts of Ford Motorcraft 1030 diesel oil, and this is the new filter number. I think it was actually 2105 if I had written down correctly the last time I did an oil change, but Ford changed the part number, kind of threw me off a little bit when I went to the dealership. So you'll have 2 quarts left from your 15 quarts here. Yeah, we're gonna get to it. First thing in my mind to do is vent the fill cap. So that is right here. You can see that. So basically open that up, leave that open. So when it's draining, it allows some air in the system and will hopefully allow it to drain a little quicker for you. Now we are going to start draining this oil. One thing I always try to tell people, if you've got a remote start vehicle, take the keys out of your pocket. The last thing you want to do is remote start it when you're draining the oil. So I made this a little easier. I've got a Fumoto valve. Again, the brand's Fumoto. You can look it up. They make valves for just about everything. And they are super handy, and you'll see exactly why. With this truck, because it takes so much, I try to catch a little bit in a smaller pan, and then I move on to my bigger pan just because. And also, if the wind is picked up, this truck is actually high enough where it will start to blow it, which is always nice. So, you see the oil drain out. I love where I get to work, and we have an oil testing machine. So I actually always collect a little bottle, and I get to go test it at my place of business. Super cool. I track, my vehicles, my family vehicles, and stuff like that. So once this small pan starts to get a little full, I start to walk it out of the way, and I'm going to start catching it with this larger pan now because it's got 13 quarts to come out. So just do a quick transfer, slide this guy out, and let it keep on digging. Alrighty, we'll just let that drain. It's going to be a minute. I'll go over this Fumoto valve that I've got here. This little clip right here keeps this valve from opening. If you're going to get these, get the one with the tube fitting here, because it flows a lot faster. But I'll swear by these things. They've put them on all my vehicles for probably 5 to 6 years now. And 25 to 40 bucks, and you get a no tool oil change. I mean, it is easy peasy. They don't leak. I got them on a 2016 Chevy Camaro, and it's my baby, and you're afraid of it. But if this thing gets hit or knocked off, you can look under this truck or under that car. You've had to hit a lot more shit before you knock that off. Had very good luck with them, so they make life easy. While that oil is draining, we're gonna also now take that other small drain pan and just start loosening the filter. And since I put this on, and it's a giant filter in the middle of nowhere, looks like I'll be able to get it off by hand like you should be able to. And this will start to create a mess, so be ready for it. I do about a quarter turn at a time, and I let it drain out what it's got to drain out. Alrighty, the filter is spun off, and you can see that surface up there. One thing you're going to want to do is just make sure the rubber gasket has not stuck to the filter, and you're going to want to get this surface as clean as you can. At the end of the day, the oil on the surface will help it seal anyway. But you want to get all the old dirty oil off if you can. So I'm just going to wipe it off with my dirty rag here, and then get one more clean one. Maybe not even. It's looking pretty good. And you can see now it's going to just start to drip again right there on the surface. So I'll again let that be, and then I'll get one more rag when I'm about ready to put the filter back on. There are 2 schools of thought on this, and it's just something my dad taught me back in the day when I was young, and it's probably an old car thing, but I've done it for now at least 10 or 15 years, and it hasn't hurt anything that I know of. I pre-fill the filter with some oil. Use the box as a stand. It's going to keep it more stable. One thing you definitely want to do is you really want to shake your oil. Again, thankfully part of my career is than analyzing oil, and you definitely can tell that oil settles. So you really want to try to get what's on the bottom at least immersed in the oil. Now I did do some pre-shaking, so I don't think you need to go crazy, because companies for production vehicles know that typically people won't do this, so they put a little extra additive usually in there. One thing you want to make sure, don't get any of the metallic in the oil itself. I just stick to adding a little bit to the filter. This filter is massive, so it does take quite a lot. And once you think it's full, let it settle and drain. It probably will take more. And this filter is perfectly upright, so you can pretty much fill it up to the top, and it's not going to affect anything. It's not, when you're screwing on, it's going to tip over and all that kind of stuff. Let's see. And just put it in perspective, I've used almost a quart of oil in this filter alone. So again, always put your lid back on. Make sure your cap, screw it on tight, because your legs will kick it over. Other thing to do, so you can see a little bit of that golden oil, take that and rub it along the seal. And again, like I said before, make sure the other seal, the other O-ring came off. It's like, I've actually never had one stay on there, but I guess it was a thing back in the day. We're going to go back under and put this filter on first. Alright, we're going to screw this oil filter back on, and again, I'm going to clean this surface one more time. And then it's going to probably still have dirty oil on it when I go to put the filter on. Be sure not to brush it against the frame and stuff. There's just dirt and debris you don't want in your oil filter. Always a little finicky to get the angle right. So, good to go. So now again, oil filters, hand tight. Now I get them 510, 170, and I don't work out. So just, snug. And, after about 20, 30 miles, come underneath here and, just take a look. See if something's leaking. I mean, that O-ring that's on there gets compressed, and it holds a pretty good bit of tension. There's still a little snugness there. The final step would be put oil back in. My driveway is on a slight lean backwards, so I get a pretty high yield when it comes to emptying the oil. So I'm going to get up to, I know it takes 13 quarts. I'm going to get up to 12 and check it. That is the oil change on a 2013 6.7 liter diesel F-350. I do tow with this a decent bit, and I do go like 5,000 on a change, 5,000 miles. I know that technically it can go, I don't know, 7,500 or 10,000, I'm sure, but for the relative inexpensive cost, depending on how long you plan on keeping it, and with all these emission systems and whatnot, the oil gets pretty dirty pretty fast. That is the oil change on the truck.